Good afternoon, Edinburgh. No, can everyone hear me? There's nice mics. All right, cool. So is everybody ready to come for a journey to the back office? Yeah, that's where we're going to go. It's where we're going to go for the next 5 minutes, okay? And if you said that last one from Revo wasn't going to be smooth, well, get ready for this, because we've got a few creases that need ironing out. But anyway, right, without further ado, I've got you for 5 minutes, yeah? I'm the agency partner manager for a company called Inventory Planner. What Inventory Planner does is it optimizes the level of inventory for your clients. So everybody working with clients today, they'll probably be doing this, they'll probably be buying their inventory in spreadsheets or simple kind of IMS systems, or trying to get things out of Shopify. That works for a certain amount of time, but when you become more complex, you start to scale, or you start selling in different locations, things like that. When you get those complexities, that's when it's really hard to get the right amount of stock at the right time. Yeah, so let's crack on. So here's a case study with a company called Astra. Really lovely flagship customer of ours. So they've grown a lot through opening stores, which isn't our typical customer. Our typical customers are predominantly online with kind of 1 or 2 stores and selling on marketplace, things like that. But this is quite an interesting one because they've opened these 26 stores in various locations, and they had to start replenishing the amount of stock for each of those locations in an effective manner. And it was taking someone days out of their weeks, 4 out of 5 days. And now we managed to get that time down to just hours in a day for them to be able to make those accurate decisions on what stock to replenish for each of those locations, because they all have different levels of demand and different customers at each location, whether it's online or in one of their stores, or a store in Edinburgh or a store in London, for example. And it became a lot more efficient, and they were able to do things like not over-order, so they weren't being troubled with overstock and having cash flow issues. And also, when they had an item that was really hot, loads of people were buying it as a gift for Valentine's Day or Christmas, like that. They were able to spot that, and they were able to replenish that and make sure that they weren't missing out on sales, so they could sell more as well. Cool, right, so one of the main things I've been speaking to you guys individually about is how we've soft launched a new agency program for Inventory Planner. It's called a co-sell program, and it's solving big problems for the client. So what I've been talking about already, things like freeing up cash from overstock and preventing missed sales from understock. This is a big issue. It's their biggest investment that our clients make, which is their inventory. Their second biggest one is marketing. So we're talking about some big issues here. Secondly, as well, it's something that from the start, I wanted to make this a really commercial partnership. So it was a referral setup where we were giving 10% of the revenue share. I've been really strong on this internally to get that all the way up to 30% revenue share for the lifetime of the client, getting that back into the agency. So there's a real opportunity to add a new revenue stream, and also there's the option to implement and to potentially wrap around additional services using the data that you see with inside Inventory Planner to fill up time on a retainer, for example. It's super straightforward to get involved with. Yeah, we called it a co-sell. We want to just completely co-sell the whole thing with our kind of expert team. We'll also handle the first line support and all the renewals too. And then another one that I think is super important, and why I'm here and why I think this could be really strategic for people too to get involved with, is that if you look at, there's tons of examples of businesses who have messed up their cash flow from ordering too much stock. And simply put, if you've got a real issue with cash flow, or your clients do, then you're going to have more and more of those tricky conversations around, can we do upsell? We've been speaking so much about upselling and adding in more services as an agency over the last couple of days. But if they're having huge cash flow issues in the back office, then those conversations are just not going to be able to easily happen. And also, I don't know whether you ever had clients who are experiencing a lack of time, that they can't get on calls, they can't take the meetings because they're being brought into other projects. I guarantee some of them will be involving inventory, getting that stock right. It's usually co-founders that get dragged into this, and they're spending hours of their time doing something that's really important, which is, planning the inventory on spreadsheets, and so it's no good for efficiency there. And then finally, I wanted to highlight that this would, make you a strategic partner with those clients. You're proactively coming to them to solve a big problem for them as well. Nice. I won't dwell too much on this. This is kind of like a bit, I'm hopefully going to try and get some new partnerships going, or to extend some that we already have with the people that are here today. But what we're looking at on this slide is some of the classic triggers for brands needing inventory planner, and it's all the kind of stuff that you'd probably expect as well. So the first one is big and it's obvious. It's just not understanding stock. There are chasms in between the buying teams and the marketing teams, and we can be placing ads on websites and just going, oh yeah, these are going to be great, and then it turns out that you've run out of the stock. That still happens a lot to this day. So real bugbears. One of the problems that we're trying to solve with those dotted lines between agency and our tech and the client. I've touched on this already, but expanding as well. Are they going to hire a new person to purchase that inventory for them, or are they going to put it in a platform and become a lot more efficient? Are they doing more marketing as well? So all of the work that you guys are doing, they're going to need an increased amount of stock for that. There needs to be more intelligent with how they do it. And then, launching new products and diversifying the business as well. These are all kind of key triggers for when a brand might require inventory planner. I think I've only got, I think I'm finishing here, but what I wanted to do here was just to join some of the lines with the metrics that the people that we speak to and the people that we're both speaking to. So there's those founders of the business, and I'm sorry that this slide is a bit wordy. This is stuff that we can properly get into in the partnership after today. I really see this as like a chapter 1 of our partnership, and it's been so cool to meet so many of you. I'm looking forward to letting my hair down at the Western party tonight. But we're looking at, if we're speaking to founders, where it gets really interesting is those head of e-commerce and some of the people that have already spoken today. We're looking at improving things like conversion rates, increasing average order value, customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value. All of that just falls flat if you haven't got the stock, or if they're having an absolute nightmare with empty digital shelves or huge cash flow problems because they are overstocked in certain areas as well. But I think that's pretty much wraps it all up from me. I'm looking forward to kind of working more with all of you, and thanks so much to Rachel for putting this all together. And that's it. Thank you.